remember the sparring with David?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had a couple of sparrings. I remember it was some of good moments from my side, some good moments from his side, moments from my side, some good moments from his side.
Moments from my side, some good moments from his side.
But you know, it's sparring. Sparring, it's sparring. You do some things which coach told you. You should do this and this, and you are trying one round. You couldn't do it. Another round, you try to do this. It couldn't. On the third round, you can do it once only, and you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you. You know, and in the fight, of course, it's different.
And there you have it, people. Dmitry Bivol responds to the infamous, interesting sparring session that he had with David Benavidez. And as you can tell, you know, Dmitry felt really no way about it. Now, to be fair, he didn't really hear what David said about Dmitry Bivol and what he did to Bivol, because everybody knows that David Benavidez has been talking about those sparring sessions for quite some while, and he reminds people of those sparring sessions, and he wears it like a badge of honor, like a chain, okay, a platinum chain, when it comes to his credibility of what he can do to certain elite fighters, okay? Well, we just heard Dmitry Bivol said, well, you know, I mean, it's good moments from his side, good moments from my side. I mean, it's sparring. And then he broke down sparring, and he, of course, as you guys heard, you know, you could be working on a particular thing in sparring, and that doesn't mean that you're giving it your all, because you're trying to focus on what your trainer wants you to focus on at the time. Okay. Now, we don't want to get that confused with what was going on at the time, because he didn't say that we were working on something. He said you could be working on something. Okay, that's the two different things. My guess would be, based on what David was saying, based on what Dmitry Bivol explained, well, they both gave each other a go. And when hearing David talk about that, I've seen a little bit of that sparring. And I thought to myself, look, they're both giving each other the business. I just don't see someone with the experience, with the hand speed, with the ring IQ like Bivol to just be getting beat up the shit by someone. Well, I can't say someone like David Benavidez, by David Benavidez. I just don't see that happening the way it's explained. And here's my thing, like, I have to explain and remind people of this. Whenever you're in sparring, you may think your perception of sparring, especially when you spar someone, for about 30 seconds, maybe, if even that long, you could be tearing into somebody's ass, but that doesn't mean that 20 seconds is the whole round. And it doesn't mean just because you got a good round in, don't mean you had a bad round. Now, again, the only way you're going to find out about a sparring session is you sit your ass down and you watch them spar from the duration from how many rounds they decide to go at it. So if they go at it 6 rounds, you want to be there for all 6. You can't say, okay, it's mediocre and then, it's back and forth for rounds 1 through 5 and then 6. Oh man, David or whoever really tore into him. Well, I don't think that's cool because you didn't see the whole thing. Now, I might say if you were scoring that defining factor would be what someone did more of in a particular round, especially if it was even. But that doesn't mean that we spar or judge sparring that way. It's a practice session. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's those things that prepare you. And shout out to Dmitry Bivol, because a lot of times, especially let that be an American fighter, oh, they would have got pissed and they would have already heard it. Dmitry Bivol didn't hear it. Now shout out to Fight Hub TV for getting the interview with Dmitry Bivol. But I'll say this. They didn't instigate like most people. Most people, like, he said he whooped your ass. Would you like to respond? You know what I mean? So, but no, he calmly said what happened, and that's what happened, and that's what I believe. And you know something that sticks out like a red thumb, okay? Dmitry Bivol saying what he said in sparring and did what he did in sparring. Do you see him brag about it? Do you see him remind people or bring it up? You don't hear any of that from Dmitry Bivol. He was just like, yeah, I remember the sparring. I remember I got in his ass and he got in mine. You know what I mean? And he didn't say it like in a certain way. He just said it like casually, calmly, nonchalantly. Okay? So for David, I feel if he's saying that, oh, I got into Dmitry Bivol and he did nothing in return, I think that's bullshit. Because again, I just don't see Bivol just getting slapped around by David Benavidez. You know what I mean? I just don't see Bivol getting slapped around without slapping back. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? And I think, and I'm not going to call David Benavidez a liar, but what I will say in ending this video, you damn sure you better well know that that David Benavidez might have exaggerated just a bit. But you guys tell me what you think of Dmitry Bivol and his response to David Benavidez, that he took it to him and whooped him in sparring. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!